guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis Lopez. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm super happy to have you guys here. So for today's video, I'm doing something a little bit different, not like my typical video that I usually put out there. Today's video, I wanted to quickly give you guys some tips and advice to how to land a fashion PR internship and how to succeed in it, how to do well in it. This last summer, I interned at a PR agency. It was a small boutique PR agency, and I was there for about 3 months and a bit, and it went really well. And so I just wanted to share with you guys the process of, you know, getting this internship, and just like some tips and advice that I would give to anybody going into their first internship, specifically for PR. Some of these tips and some of this advice that I'm about to give you is transferable, so it doesn't necessarily have to be for an internship specifically for PR in fashion. It could be for really any internship, any job position. These are just some really good transferable tips and skills that I would definitely recommend for you to focus on when you are interning. So first things first, definitely take advantage of the resources that your schools offer. Most schools, at least I know for mine, and I know majority of schools always have a career center, so take advantage of that, because typically in the career center they have like on-site help to, you know, fix up your resume, whether that be to edit it, help you create it, help you fine-tune it a little bit better. So definitely take advantage of that. These people are here to help you. I would definitely recommend this, because even if you think that you've already read over your resume 100, 200 times and you think it's perfect, most likely it's not perfect just yet. You definitely need a new pair of eyes to look at it. You know, when we tend to look at the same paper over and over and over again, we are going to miss a few errors here and there. It's normal. Why it's so important to make sure that you have your resume looked over once, more than one time, by different people, is because, like I said, you want to make sure it's error-free, especially for a PR agency. You know, communication and writing is such a huge part of it. You want to make sure that when whoever's looking at your resume, who has found some interest in you as a possible candidate, for them to see that you care. When they look over a resume and say they find a few mistakes here and there, they're gonna see that as negligence, and they're gonna see that as if like, you don't care enough to look over your work, and you know, they're gonna think about it as, you know, why are we going to hire someone on when they're going to make these mistakes that could have been easily avoided. So tip number 2, make sure that you network. Make sure that you exhaust your network. Try to talk to as many people as possible, whether that be your professors or, you know, your former employers, or just people that you might know who might know someone. Definitely get out there and talk to them. For example, in my school, they were very helpful. Our program coordinator was constantly emailing us with potential like job opportunities, volunteer opportunities throughout my 4 years at my college. So that way we could get out there, meet people, you know, get that experience, because it's super important. You never know, you might meet someone who later down the road you can contact them again once you graduate and be like, hey, you guys have a position open for me. If, like, say you had volunteered with them in the past, they already know you, you've already established that relationship with them, they already know your work ethic, so you have a higher chance of potentially getting a job with them, with their company, if you've already established that relationship. It's like a basic rule of thumb: make sure you network, make sure you build as many relationships as possible while you're in school, and make sure that you nurture these relationships throughout your 4 years. If they ever reach out for you to help, always be willing to help, even if, like, say that weekend you would rather not volunteer your time doing that and maybe take up a shift at your part-time job. It's definitely going to help you in the long run. It's going to help. Number 3, you want to make sure to create exposure for yourself. This is super important. You know, you're going to be competing with tons and tons and tons of candidates, so you have to make sure that you're going to make your portfolio, your own brand stand out among the rest. So you want to create exposure for yourself. Now, with my personal experience with this, I feel like creating this platform for myself on my social media pages, say Instagram, or even here on YouTube, I was able to sort of create this exposure for myself, give me that leg up. I definitely think that helped when I landed my internship, because it created opportunities for me to work with certain companies, to work with specific agencies. For example, like in my own personal experiences. The agency that I interned at, I actually already knew them. I had already established a relationship with them because through my work through Instagram, that's how they reached out to me one day. This was probably a year before I even started looking for an internship, and they reached out to me to work with them because one of their clients was Conair. So I went in and I did like a photo shoot with them for one of Conair's products, and I established that relationship with them, so they already knew me, and I wouldn't even have the opportunity to have worked with them before my internship if it hadn't been for the platform that I grew for myself on Instagram. So definitely creating exposure for yourself is important. Now, you don't necessarily need to create a blog space on a platform like Instagram or YouTube. You can definitely still be active without being, say, quote unquote, an influencer or a micro influencer or whatever you want to call it. You can definitely still create exposure, especially in PR. It's really important to show them that you use social media, just because social media has become such a driving force of PR, and it's used tremendously in the industry, whether that's fashion or it's definitely super important. So show that you're active, and Twitter is huge. If you have Twitter, or if you don't have it yet and you're still a student and you're looking for an internship, or you're coming down, like you have a year left before you have to start looking for internship, start becoming active on Twitter. Start tweeting about things, start retweeting about that you genuinely have an interest. You sort of built a presence on social media because you're out there, you're retweeting about PR news, you're participating in PR chats, you are, say, tweeting about or retweeting about fashion trends on Twitter. There's so many ways for you to participate on social media without, say, creating a brand of yourself on these platforms. Prepared. So I would definitely suggest, if your professors haven't already told you, come with a portfolio. So make sure that you have a nice, professional looking portfolio with all of your most impressive work in there, so that you have something to show them when it comes to your interview. So another tip that kind of goes hand in hand with the previous tip that I just gave is to put a copy of your resume and a copy of your cover letter in your portfolio as well. Give that to them, and then that way they can look it over while they're interviewing me to have some checkpoints, or just refresh their memory of who I am as the candidate and what my skills were and what my experiences were. And it also just shows preparedness on your part as well, if, say, they don't have your resume on hand, and that way they don't have to waste time either pulling it up on their laptop or wherever they may have it. Just give it to them and you're good to go. Okay, so tip number 5 is to make sure you do your research and research the company. This is so important and such a basic step to do to prepare yourself for the interview. Make sure that you know the clients of this particular agency. If you are interviewing for a PR agency, make sure you know what they do, the work they've done. As long as you can at least name them a few. You don't have to name them all. Some PR agencies are massive and they have a long list of clients, so you do not have to go there and name each and every client. But as long, I think, as if you can name at least 3 clients, I think that shows that you did some homework with, because these are clients that they're potentially going to work with as well. So you want to know that they care enough to know a little bit about them, to at least know the names of these companies. If you are interning for, not say an agency, but just like a corporation, make sure that you know their products, whatever services they offer, what their mission statement is and what this company is all about. These are just some fundamental things that you need to know before going into your interview. So I believe we're on tip number 6. Another easy tip is that when you are in your interview, make sure you ask questions at the end of the interview. It just shows your interest in the company and it shows your interest in the position, and shows that you were engaged during the interview as well. So make sure you ask questions. The questions that you can ask can be anything from, like, what are your expectations of me as an intern, if they haven't already highlighted that. That's probably, you can also ask them, what does a typical day for one of your interns look like here in the office, and then they'll probably give you like a rundown of like what your daily duties will be. And this is just like a really simple question that you can ask at the end of an interview. So we're just going to shift over into some tips to definitely consider when you are already working, when you're already interning, and you just want to make sure that you stand out among your other interns, and you want to make sure you're doing the best work you possibly can do and taking full advantage of that experience. Take initiative and be proactive while you're there. There are going to come some days where maybe you won't have a lot of work to do. Maybe they didn't really give you any assigned tasks for that day, and maybe your higher ups are just super busy and they're not really thinking about, oh, what is my intern doing today? What could I possibly give them? It's times like these that they probably just expect you to find work to do and make yourself useful. So definitely do that. Make yourself useful while you're there. So during these times where you'll find yourself having some downtime and you don't know what to do, maybe go into the showroom and fix it up a little bit. You know, this is a really important part of an agency where when clients come in, and it's probably the first thing they see. So you want to make sure that the showroom is always looking up to par. Something else that you can do if you don't want to do some cleaning or some office cleaning is that you can create a list of potential influencers that one of your higher ups might need in the future. This is definitely something that I think your higher ups will appreciate. So if you create a list of influencers that you think that they might potentially need in the future, just, you know, create a list of 10 to 20 people. Just good to have lists of influencers because you're always looking for new influencers to work with. So definitely having these lists are helpful, especially if you have to reference back to them when it comes down to mailing out mailers or inviting some influencers to come out to an event. The thing that you can do if, say, you have some downtime is go online, do some research, do some brainstorming of potential content ideas. If your agency is handling various social media channels and they're always working on creating new content for their clients, you know, maybe create a little vision board of some potential ideas that they can use it. Now, I'm not saying that they're definitely going to use it, but again, it will show that you're taking initiative and you're being proactive and you're making use of your time. And you never know, they might actually end up using it or be inspired by that idea, and you just saved some time off their watch. So always show enthusiasm no matter what. Always show up to work with a positive attitude and an open mind. I know this can be sometimes a little bit hard, especially when you're interning, because sometimes you just get stuck with the grunt work that no one wants to do, and it's hard to do it with a smile on your face, but it will definitely help you in the long run. Just honestly, just do the work with some enthusiasm. I know that sometimes these like mundane tasks might seem a little bit beneath you and not what you went to school for. Like if you're doing PR packages, maybe I get it. I totally understand. You did not go to school to tie a ribbon on a box 25 times. It can be a little bit, you know, just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do my 25th box I don't want to tie my 25th ribbon on my 25th box, but you just have to do it. And honestly, it just comes with the territory. You're interning, you have to do it. You know what, and that's part of PR too. It's not all glitz and glamour, especially not in fashion PR. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. So just do the work. Everyone in that office probably interned once in their life, so everyone had to probably do it, and now it's your turn to do it. When you're interning, don't think that you are better than anybody else just because, say, you're a straight A student, or you know, you excel really well in your classes and your professors love you and they praise you, or whatever it may be. Just be nice and be humble. It's super important. Show that you are a humble person when you're there. I'm pretty sure that your employer is going to appreciate it, and so will the people who also work in the office will appreciate you. No one is going to appreciate an intern who thinks they're better than tying a ribbon on a box. And like I said, I totally get it. It can seem like a really mundane task. It can seem like I did not spend so much money in school to be doing this. But like I said, it just comes with the territory. Because during your internship, you know, you're there to learn. You're not there to be CEO just yet. So you're there to learn. So you definitely have to have an open mind. You have to know how to take criticism, whether that's good or bad. Don't show that you're upset if they tell you, listen, like, you need to maybe work on this, work on that. Then just take in the information, process it, listen to it, and just be grateful for the feedback, because at the end of the day, you're there to learn, and you're gonna take that in and you're just gonna have to try to improve on it so that by the end of the internship, your employers saw that you worked on that and that you improved in that, and then that would just help you to gain that reference. It also will help you in your future jobs, because then you'll know not to make the same mistakes, or you'll know, you know, to not act that way, or to maybe do that. So definitely just take in the feedback, because it's all part of the learning experience. Don't be afraid. Now, I understand that it can be really nerve-wracking. I know that I was pretty nervous when I started my internship, even in times where I didn't really want to speak up, or maybe we were having like an office meeting and we were bouncing back ideas. Sometimes I was a little bit afraid to say what was on my mind, because I just didn't want the idea to be deemed as stupid, or I don't know. You're just afraid because like also you're interning, so maybe you just don't want to, like, you might think that your ideas aren't as important or as like good as someone who actually like works there. But don't be afraid. I know this is a lot harder said than done, but just don't be afraid. They will honestly appreciate that you are speaking up. So make sure that when you are in those meetings that you know, bounce some of your ideas to them. They will appreciate this. Honestly, no idea is a bad idea, because that idea can help create an even better idea. So don't be afraid to speak up. Also, don't be afraid to ask questions. This is super important. If you are given a task and you're not really sure of exactly what you're supposed to do, or you're kind of confused, you're not really sure if what you're doing right, make sure to ask, because if you do something that might be a small mistake, it actually could snowball into something really big that could have been easily avoided if you had just asked for some clarification. So just make sure that you ask for help if you need it. Make sure you treat your internship as a real job. This is super important. Don't go into your internship thinking, I'm just gonna breeze on by. I just need the hours. I just need this to graduate. I just need the credit. I get it. Like, sometimes you just want to get your internship over with. You just want to graduate. You just want to get that paper and say sayonara. But you have to treat it as a real job, especially if this is it for you and you are trying to find a job after this. So make sure that you always show up to your internship on time. This will reflect really positively on your part as a professional. So make sure you always show up on time. I mean, for me, I will admit, you've seen me, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know that I'm always rushing to get to places. So for me, I definitely had to work on that when I was there. But I like sacrificed, and I made sure that I was like waking up early enough, because I know I take a while to get ready. So, but I always tried to be there on time, because to me, like, this meant something for me. I know that I'm going to graduate, and I know that I'm going to try to find a job there, and I just really wanted a really good reference. So I always tried to be on time. So yeah, just make sure you really try hard on that. That's number one. Number two, make sure that when you're there, you know, again, you're there, you're ready to do the work, you're ready to learn, you're ready to take on any tasks that they might give you for that day. Yeah, with an open mind and a smile on your face. You don't spend too much time on your phone. Definitely don't do that. It does not look professional. I know, for example, with my internship, there were times where I was required to be on my phone, because if I had to do some work on social media, whether that was engagement or finding influencers, yes, I had to be on my phone for that. It was just easier that way, especially with engagement on their social media channels. But if you are on your phone almost all day, they will notice. They will know that you're not on there doing engagement or, you know, looking up influencers. They will know. So make sure that you are not on your phone all day. It is not professional. And if necessary, stay late. If you have some work that needs to be done and you have a deadline, just stay the extra 20 minutes and just finish it. That way you could have it done. Or if, say, they ask you to do something for them at 10 minutes before you usually go home, just do it. I know that part can be a little bit hard. It happened to me a few times, and I was like, oh, I don't want to stay. I want to go home, especially because my internship was not a paid internship. So I was like, I know, it can be hard, but just do it because it will be worth it once you get that reference. So, yeah, just make sure you do it. So yeah, but guys, I think that is it for today's video. Let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up. If you guys want to see more videos on this topic, let me know in the comment section down below. Maybe I'll film a part 2, depending on how well this video was received. Yeah, just let me know. I love hearing you guys' feedback. But anyhow, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit different than what I usually put out there, but I really just wanted to share this because I know that when I was looking for an internship, I was just trying to gather up as much information as possible to prepare myself for my own internship. So I wanted to put this out there for you guys if you guys are on the hunt for an internship, or maybe if next year you guys will be looking for a potential internship in PR fashion. So anyhow, that being said, I will see you guys all in my next video. Stay tuned because a new styling video will be going up real soon. I'm thinking that I want to film how to style knee-high boots. So if you're interested in seeing how I style a pair of knee-high boots, then definitely stay tuned because that video will go up real soon. But anyways, guys, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye, guys.